Hello, welcome to GPJ, Smallville Episode 2, Metamorphosis. I'll be answering 2 questions. 3, how does Superman fly? And 4, why does green kryptonite hurt Clark? And number 3, how does Superman fly? You may remember this from my Tech Tuesday episode on the deck plating, on the gravitational plating. Now this is important because they use things like gravitons in a contained field, more like a magnetic field than a force field, and it basically polarizes them so that they all kind of like line up to a north and south, so that they can like draw things, like attract things like a magnet, but using gravity towards the north side, only an example, towards the north side, and repel things again like a magnet to another magnet to from a south side or the deck plating above. So it kind of all like continues down towards the bottom of the ship. So that's how kind of they use gravitons in Star Trek. Now, one of the things that we kind of can guess about Kryptonians is that they kind of have within them the ability to manipulate their own gravitational field. You know, they can screw with the graviton fields that they generate, and if you can do that, you can theoretically fly, because you can basically like screw it. It's either screwing with their own field, because everything gives off gravity. So one of the theories is that like that they can screw with their own field, or they can manipulate the fields of gravity or gravitons around them, so that they can actually fly through the air. It's kind of like it's kind of like electromagnetic trains. You know, the mag trains, the maglev trains. Yeah, that's right. It's kind of like that. They can fly around because they are an electromagnet for these gravitons, and they can manipulate it however they choose, but only around or inside their own body. So he can't do telekinesis or stuff like that, but he can manipulate gravity in the way that he can fly, you know? And he seems to have great strength with this as well, because well, in Superman Returns he looks like basically an island or a small continent, however you're supposed to take that, of kryptonite infected rock. Sorry, I was yawning in the middle of that sentence. Because it's so much science and so much bullshit at the same time. But that's essentially one of the abilities he has. There is another thing that you could argue, and that's that basically in a few episodes of Smallville and in the DC comics and everything like that, we basically see that he's allergic or affected by magical stuff, in which that he is manipulated, even so that the biological things in his body that make him have all of these abilities like are ripped from him somehow, which is horrible if you consider, you know, horrible and absurd if you consider that basically his heat vision is based on like a hell of a lot of reflective cells and stuff that basically continuously like cycle photons until they eject them. Oh my god, how much bullshit is that when he's affected by magic? This leads me to believe, and a lot of people to believe, that kryptonites aren't in fact biological beings anymore, that they are in fact magically enhanced beings. Now, I can almost accept this on account of mostly magic is just science that we haven't discovered yet, or that we don't know about yet, or can't think of yet. It's all I kind of like, that's how I see magic, and I accept that. You know, it's just something that we don't understand completely yet. So there's the answer to that question. That's the answer for question 3, how does Superman fly? Question 4, why does green kryptonite hurt Clark? Spider attack. In winter. And it's raining more heavily now. That's great. Great, thanks for the audio assist. That's great. I could record this in the house, but I guess not. Anyway, how does green kryptonite hurt Clark? This one's really easy. This one's super easy. Everybody's aware that radiation is bad, right? It's essentially radiation. He gets radiation poisoning. Only at an extremely rapid rate, it seems. He can heal himself when he's taken away from the radiation source. But if he ingests something that has kryptonite in it, or whatever, he basically gets affected by that radiation. He is kind of super not resilient to a very particular type of radiation. And all of the other radiations, it seems, don't affect Kryptonians. But if you bring a piece of this radioactive, this, again, specific radioactive material towards him, near him, next to him, like in a beam that's firing upon him, or anything like that, and he will be like screwed up. And that's because of radiation. That one's simple. It's radioactive, but not radioactive to us, because it doesn't affect us all, or it doesn't affect people, or does it? But I'm not going to go into that because it's crazy. So yeah, kryptonite is radioactive to a spectrum that he is vulnerable to. You know, it emits a radiation in a spectrum that he is vulnerable to, and that's why why kryptonite hurts him. Krypton radiation hurts. You know what I mean? Krypton radiation. How does Superman fly? Graviton magnetism. That's supposed to be a gravitational field. That doesn't really work out so well. It kind of looks like it to me in my thing. It's like the waves of gravitation, like in a magnet. So graviton magnetism. And how does kryptonite hurt Superman? It's radioactive to him. Or if he's magic, it's simply like lead or something poisonous only to him. I hate that I have to proposition things with. Except it's this whole big thing.